Hello, darlings. I'd like to tell you a little story. A certain minister in town, so I did hear, liked to preach upon the sins of being queer. Well, to listen to his sermon, you'd have thought that we were vermin, but the Bible, he said, makes that crystal clear. So I set out to pay this minister a call, in a strapless turquoise gown, hair, heels, and all. 'Twas my unassuming plan, we might sit down man to man and discuss all this religious falderall. He sat across this big black desk with venom on his lips, with all the pertinent Bible verses at his fingertips. Leviticus 20:13 calls it an abomination, which in his mind meant that I was doomed to hellfire and damnation. But what this so-called man of God could not have known, I had memorized some verses of my own, words that preached your message of peace and tolerance and love. So one specific verse that spoke of casting the first stone. And that's when I let him have it. I'm one of God's most fabulous creations, and I don't owe no one no explanations. You ever stop to think that God might be so inclined to put me on this earth simply to mess with your mind? I'm one of God's most marvelous inventions, and who are you to question his intentions? So if you think that I am somehow fatally flawed, well, all I got to say to you is, honey, take it up with God. I'm one of God's more interesting creations. I won't accept your straight-laced limitations. I'll hold my head up high while letting everyone see that God outdid himself the day he came up with me. I'm one of God's most succulent confections. I'll strut my stuff in spite of your objections. So if your tiny brain thinks I am totally hard, well, all I got to say to you is, honey, take it up with God. The Bible says to love your neighbor. That's what the Lord would have us do. But loving ain't that much of a labor when your neighbor is exactly like you. I'm one of God's most captivating creatures, and I don't need no booing from the bleachers. If you're some self-appointed immorality squad, well, all I have to say to you is, honey, take it up with God. I'm curvaceous, flirtatious, and thoroughly outrageous. I'm dramatic, ecstatic, and oh so charismatic. I'm delicious, capricious, and somewhat meretricious. I'm exotic, hypnotic, and totally erotic. Now maybe you decided you don't like what I am, but frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn. The following Sunday morning, feeling in need of some spiritual enlightenment, I decided to dress up and go to church, along with 3 dozen of my closest drag queen friends. The Bible says that thou shalt judge not, and yet it seems one often finds that Christians have a tendency to budge not once they've gone and made up their itty-bitty minds. I'm one of God's most captivating creatures, and I don't need no booing from the bleachers. If you're some self-appointed immorality squad, well, all I got to say to you is, honey, take it up with God. Honey, take it up with God. Honey, take it up with God.